Hey, what's up guys, guille.ruizmedia here, and today I'm going to be showing you 5 tips on how to dial your scooter so it can go from this to this. So for the first tip that I'm going to show you, this one works for HIC compression systems and IHC, and basically what it is just take your handlebars off. If you don't know how to do that, you just have to untighten these screws on the side and just pull them right off, and so you'll have this part. So what you have to do is just go ahead and tighten the top of it until it's tight enough, but you can still spin it like this with your hands. Some people like to tighten it a lot just to have their scooter be really dialed, and some people like to loosen it a bit so that they can do their whips and their bars faster. But it just comes down to preference and what you like. So with SES compression, you can also do something similar. You can see that on the inside here, there's an Allen key kind of slot. And so all you have to do is tighten it. The thing with SES is if you tighten it too much, your fork won't be able to move. You have to find the perfect balance between it being dialed and it also being smooth so you can actually ride it and do your trick. So something that can also help you a lot with dialing your scooter is bearings, believe it or not. They seem like something that you just put on and they spin, they don't really matter. But the higher quality bearings you have, the more dialed your scooter will be if you do all these other tips that I'm telling you about. So these are the Rude Industries bearings that came with it. And I mean, they're fast and everything, they're just not smooth at all and they're not dialed. But if you look at the river bearings, they're much smoother. And in my opinion, I ride faster with them and I just like them in general. And you can see that there's a big difference between using these and using those and how dialed the scooter is and how smooth I can ride. And just overall how smooth they are. Also, generally when I put on my wheels, I tighten them the whole way as strong as I can. Just make sure that you don't tighten it too strong so that you can't take the bolt off later. But generally I can push it as hard as I can and they'll still spin fine, at least with these bearings. With the Rude Industries bearings, if I tighten it too much, then they would seize up and stop spinning. Another one of the really big issues with dialing your scooter, and most of the time when you've done all these things, the issue is your brake. And brakes on scooters, sometimes they can be really dialed if you're really lucky, and sometimes they can be really rattly and really annoying. So for example, you can see that this brake is metal, and metal brakes usually rattle much more than plastic brakes. So now companies such as Envy and Ethic, you can see they've started to make brakes that have plastic on the outside, but they have metal inserts on the inside so that of course you won't burn through your brake. And most of the new Envy and Fasten range have these new brakes. But if you have the either 2015 range or below, you'll have this type of brake which rattles much more. And so I'll put a link to the tutorial right here, and basically it just shows you how to drill a hole through the top of your deck so you can use the new Envy brakes. So if you have a metal brake right now and it's rattling a lot and you want to fix it, if you can't get one of these plastic brakes that I'm showing or your deck just doesn't support it, what you can do, you can see that on this brake there's a plastic insert in there. And these are the plastic inserts that come in it stock from the factory. But if you want to make it even more dialed, you can get a piece of tubing or a piece of rubber. The softer it is, the more dialed your scooter will be. And basically wedge it in there before you put in the brake. And that'll help with the brake rattling. Because when the brake rattles, what happens is the brake is inside the deck. And the part right over here when you land, it rattles and it hits the top of the deck, and that's what creates the sound. So if you have a softer insert, such as rubber or something, it'll definitely insulate the sound very well. Well, the last tip's pretty obvious, but it's just tighten the brake as much as you can, because the more you tighten it, the more dialed it will be, or at least that's how it's gone for me so far. So don't be scared to tighten it too much, but just be careful. If your brake bolt seizes up quite a bit, then just put some oil on it, and that'll make sure that it doesn't seize up so that you can take it off and put it back on if you want to. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked this video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you disliked it, leave a dislike and tell me in the comments why you didn't like it. Also, if you have any requests for a video that you want us to make, it can be a tutorial, trick tip, or just any other type of video that you'd like us to make, leave a comment down below telling us to do it, and I'll make sure to answer to as many of those comments as I can get to.